Hello and welcome to Tete à Tête with Tiwa. I'm Tineke.
I'm Wally.
And we're answering your questions. Now today's questions are specifically for me, but I'm sure Wally will have something to contribute to them. So the first question is, what were your first impressions of your husband? For those of you that don't know, I met my husband when I was 10 years old. So I'll tell you what my first impressions of that boy, what I thought of that boy then. So my first impressions, I thought he was tall, thought he was dark, specifically black, thought he was handsome. I liked the fact that at night you could just see his smile and his eyes. And I thought he was really charming. I also thought he was much older than he was. So those were my first impressions of him.
Much older than I was. What?
Because you know, the people that introduced me to you were much older. I just
Oh,
thought you were
right,
older.
okay.
I didn't realize
Okay.
you were as young as you were. Then, my first impressions of him as a husband, slightly harder this because I wasn't, obviously I already knew him. And this was a journey we're embarking on together. So we both went in like planning to be the best husband and wife that we could be. So I don't think that there was, I think he stepped up to the role well enough. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He was all right. So yeah, no real first impressions in terms of that. No, he just, stepped up to the role.
So, I remember it was friends of ours. They got married a year before us. We were both grooms and bridespeople. So
Oh yeah.
bridesmaid, groomsmen, and all that. And I remember having a discussion with him, and on the night of their wedding, we were talking, having drinks and talking, if I remember, by the pool or something. And he said, wow, that it's a real responsibility and stuff. And I said, well, what are you on about? I said, how is it different? For you guys have been going out for how many years? I said, there's nothing different now. And and I said to him, for instance, we've been going out for so many years. How's a marriage going to make it different? And he said, no, Wally, there's a difference. He says, as soon as you sign those documents, as soon as you say your vows, you take on it's like you put on a different mantle. The responsibility is different. And I thought to myself, I listened, whatever, right? Okay, cool. But you know what?
He was right.
He was absolutely right. There is a difference. Once you say your vows, it's a different mantle of responsibility, knowing that from here on in, you cannot fail. You have to step up. You have to be a man. You have to be a husband. So yeah, there was a difference, even though it seemed seamless. Do you see what I mean? Yeah.
Next question. How did he propose?
Huh?
What's funny? Why are you laughing?
Sorry.
He didn't. He actually didn't propose. He didn't propose. I still haven't got over it. I'm still waiting for, how you see all these videos on YouTube and Instagram where the guy has put, he's done all sorts. There's a flash mob dancing, there's, all sorts. I'm still waiting.
Okay, so in my defense, what I've always understood about, what I understood then anyway, about a proposal was, this person is, these people are seeing each other and they don't particularly, well, that was my impression anyway, they're seeing each other almost as if they're not sure of what is going to happen next, or rather they're hoping that this will happen next. So the guy then proposes and says, will you marry me? Now, the reason why I didn't do that was, of course, she was going to marry me. I was going to marry her. There was nobody else I was ever going to marry. I didn't think there was anybody else she was going to marry. So we were going to get married anyway. It was.
Should I tell him now?
Go on. Tell me. But yeah, it was just a natural thing for me. There was nobody else I was going to marry anyway. So I wasn't, so it wasn't about, for me, it was just a natural progression. Who else would I get married to? I never wanted to get married to anybody. In fact, it wasn't even a thought. To be quite frank, before her, I wasn't even thinking about getting married. It's the last thing on my mind. Getting married, what's that? But to spend the rest of my life together with this lady, yes, absolutely, because I'd loved her since I was 12, I believe. So it was just the next thing to get married. I didn't know that it was necessary to go through will you marry me? And, so, I've had, this keeps on coming up.
Yeah.
So.
And will continue to keep on coming up.
Yes. So, but you see, at this point, I don't see how it's going to work. What, am I going to say, will you marry me again? Or, well, I mean, we're already married. We've been married for 23 odd years. So what do I do? I mean, all these, look, you young lads.
With your flash mobs.
Yeah, you all need to stop it.
Although, with those proposals, I always think, these guys that do, especially the public ones, it's like, I almost feel like the woman says yes just not to embarrass the guy. As in, she might not actually really want to say yes, but he's gone to such a,
right.
So I always feel like, I'm not even asking for that.
Right.
I'll tell you.
You want a proposal?
I don't even know if I want a proposal. I have to think about this, but I'm grieved that I did not get a proposal.
So I'm going to have to remedy that. I'm going to have to think of a way to remedy that.
So how did we even marry?
What do you mean, how did we marry?
If you didn't propose.
That's why I said it was a natural thing.
I proposed. I can't remember in the leap year.
No, look. Yeah, look. What do you mean you proposed? What were we doing? I think what happened was we were looking at calendars or something, and you happened to see it was a leap year, and then you go, oh, it's a leap year, so things go the other way around.
Yeah.
And
because I had waited so many years and you hadn't proposed.
So did you give me a ring?
Why would I give you a ring?
Well, there you go. So
did you give me a ring?
Well, so you
when
didn't.
I
I didn't propose.
You should have given me a ring. There's no rule that
says. But then I didn't know you were going to propose.
Yeah, but then when I did propose, then you should have gone and found a ring and then brought it to me.
Look, the bottom line is I'm going to have to remedy the situation, and so I
Good luck
agree.
with that.
This is where I'm going to have to get. Look, you young lads, if there's any of you out there,
no, don't get anybody's help, please.
I haven't said anything about help.
Okay.
What inspiration is not help now, is it? Just give me something to.
The next question: did you have any reservations about him, or were you all in?
That's interesting.
So, at the point of marriage, I mean, I was all in. Yeah, definitely I was all in. But at the point of marriage, I don't even know if you know this. Actually, I think you do know this. At the point of marriage, I did have reservations. And my reservation was that I did not want to walk down the aisle as the spiritual head of the relationship. And at that point in time, or not at that point, but like a good 18 months or so before our marriage, that was the situation. So I was like, I must not enter this marriage and be the spiritual head. I just don't want that. So that was my reservation. Now I knew, and God knew, that if something didn't change, it didn't matter that we'd sent out invitations. It didn't matter that, everybody was coming and I wasn't going to do it. I just wouldn't do it. I knew that, and God knew that. But then, yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, you didn't know this?
No.
Oh, you didn't know this?
No.
But you know how God did it, because then wow. because then a series of events happened that made him, in a matter of months, just fly ahead of me. I was like, hello. You know, sometimes you pray for things you don't know. And so, yeah, literally. And you know what that series of events were?
I remember.
Yeah, so it was, we'll tell you that story another day. But yeah, so that was my one reservation, that I knew he was a Christian. I was a Christian, but I knew I was, more of a Christian, if that exists. As in, I took things of the, my faith was a bit more important to me than maybe it was to him. And I just was like, I cannot enter a marriage and be the one that is the spiritual head of the home. So that was my one reservation, and God sorted that out for me. So no, at the point of the marriage, I had no reservations at all. Is that surprising?
No, not at all. Because now you say it in hindsight, I sort of, I sort of know that. What I didn't realize was that you might not have walked down the aisle.
I would not have walked down the aisle. But the thing is, only God knows that.
I would have dragged you down.
But you
I would have dragged you down.
You would have been at the top of the aisle. You wouldn't have had a clue.
Yeah, I'll come out.
No. So no, I wasn't prepared to do that. It was too huge a thing for me to start off like that. Marriage is already a whole heap of things you're dealing with, and that's just not one thing I'm prepared to compromise on. So that was my thing.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. We will see you next time.
Absolutely. Ciao.